Okay, we're live. This can start in 30 seconds. Okay. Yeah, 30 seconds.
That's our camera? Okay, so you're looking at this one when you first start. And then,
10 seconds.
They're upside down.
could you gesture to them when you switch to their view?
Can we not switch to
Just gesture to them when you switch to their view so they can look at that.
Okay. Okay, go with us.
Hello, welcome to the last episode of Line Talks. This is Desiree,
This is Michael.
and this is going to be a very special episode of Line Talks class of 2021. Later today, we'll be interviewing our very own senior members of our own Line Talks crew. But here today we have our senior class valedictorian and salutatorian. We felt it was only right to close off the very first season of Line Talks by honoring our class of 2021. This is how we honor and celebrate the work of our senior class. So we have John Smith, our valedictorian, and Julie Rodriguez, our class salutatorian. So, what a year it's been.
Oh, yeah.
This may seem like a episode of last, but this is actually our very first in-person interview. So to get us started, how are both of you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. Got everything set up. I am on the Lion Talks crew, so I was making sure that everything is working behind the scenes. But it all looks like it's good, and it looks like we're going to have a great show, so I'm excited.
And I'm doing well today. Just wrapping stuff up for the end of the year, studying for IB exams and things like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, it's been a long journey, a very exciting journey that you guys have been on, and you've achieved so much during this time. So coming into high school, was it always a goal for you to become valedictorian or salutatorian?
Well, not really for me. Like, when I first came into high school, I kind of liked the idea of being highly ranked, and I really liked having good grades. Like, that was one of my biggest goals. But I didn't really care about beating anyone else. Like, I didn't really care about the competition. But then near the end of my freshman year, I actually found out that I was ranked first in the class. And that kind of gave me that drive to at least maintain kind of somewhere in the top 5. I really wanted at least the top 6% for certain schools that I really wanted to apply to, because if you're in the top 6%, that really helps you out. And it was kind of a surprise being the valedictorian, being so highly ranked, but I always just tried to maintain it, basically.
For me, it was more of like an organic, like regular, natural result of like my work and dedication. I had just done all of my work and I studied for my tests, and it wasn't until my sophomore year that I learned that I was ranked second. And I think after that, I just kept on working, same old thing, and maintained my spot.
So you guys talked about how, you've grown throughout the years. It was an organic change, as you mentioned, for you. So how do you think you've changed since freshman year as you've come along?
I've definitely changed a lot. I've taken on a lot of new interests, a lot of new hobbies, and I think that I've also really developed a better work ethic. And especially through the IB program, I'm sure, I think all of us are actually full IB students right now. The IB program really opened my eyes and opened my mind up to the different possibilities that there are in the world. And there were some classes that I took that I didn't really think that I'd necessarily enjoy, especially like psychology, but thanks to my excellent teachers and thanks to all the really cool stuff that we were able to study, like I just really took a knack to a lot of different subjects, politics, psychology, government, that I never really thought that I liked. And that's really kind of transformed the way that I think.
For me, I think I've changed tremendously from a freshman to now. Definitely, I've had more on my plate. So I've become a more well-rounded person. Like I got a job as a senior, and being part of the IB program, they really placed emphasis on that, learner profile and doing CAS and TOK and extended essay. And, I thought with like maybe other classes it was a lot of work, and then I got into IB and I realized that I could handle a lot more than I thought.
Now, speaking of all the amazing things you guys have both done in your high school careers, have there any been maybe a club or organization or team you've been a part of that really you really enjoyed or you liked to experience?
Oh, that's a no-brainer for me. TSA, Technology Student Association, like, ever since my freshman year, ever since I made it to be a freshman officer, like, it has just changed my life. Like, and that kind of sounds cliche, but everyone that I talk about at recruitments, everybody that interviews me, I always just talk about how TSA not only allowed me to travel, but it also really showed me a niche of other people that really shared the same interests. And it wasn't even the technology component for me in TSA, it was the leadership component, being able to lead the meetings, being able to work with the different officers, that it gave me so much responsibility, but I just really loved it. And every single second of TSA, even virtually, having to adapt, having to do different virtual competitions, it's just been a different challenge. And I really love being able to organize a lot of different activities that we didn't do and see the direct improvement of our performance as a result of the actions that we've really been working hard on with all the different advisors and all the different officers that I've been working for many years. So I've just absolutely loved being part of TSA.
My favorite, or one of my favorite organizations is the school newspaper, the Daily Roar. I became chief as a sophomore, and so I had to handle the paper and transition it as we transitioned from Beta to World Scholars. So it was formerly known as the Tornado Press, and we changed the name to the Daily Roar. And being editor-in-chief was just such an incredible experience because I was able to help beginning writers and, let them, develop their love for writing and publishing their articles and maintaining the website and things like that. It was just, I'd always loved writing. And so being able to write for the school body and helping others with their love for writing, it was just such an incredible experience. And the other organization or club that I really liked was the World Scholars Mariachi. I had joined as a freshman playing the bass, and I was Miss Martinez's student at STPA, and so I was well acquainted with Miss Martinez. And she's an incredible teacher. We've always had fun with our performances and our rehearsals, and it was a really good feeling being part of an ensemble. Like the unity in our ensemble, especially since we've stuck together for years, it was amazing. I love the organizations we have here.
And speaking of all that you've done, back to the more school-oriented aspects, was there ever a specific class assignment that really impacted you, really stayed with you afterwards?
Well, for me, it's all about the IB program, really, and I talked about how much it's transformed me, but I think specifically my history of the Americas internal assessment that I did, I was able to choose a topic that I really enjoyed over the Vietnam War, and specifically how the Vietnam War kind of changed America's perception of the government, and also how the media's inherent biases impacted how we thought about the Vietnam War, how it kind of led to this disenchantment that Mr. Martinez and Mr. Munoz taught us about, kind of how America's perceptions were kind of skewed because we either saw a really good perception of the Vietnam War or we saw it really bad based on kind of like the peer groups, the social groups that we had. So I really loved researching that, and that was the one internal assessment where I went into it thinking something completely different than what I thought afterwards, because after I did all my research, I really found out that it wasn't just the media. It was also, like I mentioned before, the peer groups and all these different things that kind of come into that system of thinking that was the perception of the Vietnam War. So I absolutely loved that assignment alongside all of my different IAs. And, if you're a freshman or a sophomore, highly encourage that you check out IB. Like, I've loved the experience.
My favorite or most meaningful assignment isn't IB related or like an essay, but it was, as a sophomore, the Egg Baby project. That was an experience because I had always been used to doing like paper stuff and things like that. So this was like a breath of fresh air, having to take care of a baby. And it was just nice. The first day I dropped the egg. And so I had to deal with, telling, at the time, Ms. Ocasio, I dropped my egg. I'm sorry I hurt my baby. But it was fun and it was educational. I learned a lot. about responsibility with a little egg.
So, you've obviously come from a long journey, and you've obviously made a lot of memories here at World Scholars. So, when you look back at that time, what are you going to remember most? What is the memory that's going to stick with you as you go into college?
It's probably also something related to TSA, kind of probably that first state conference that I did at Fort Worth, Texas. And not only that independence that I got, but also, running around trying to submit all my projects on time and, staying at a hotel with all of my friends. I loved that experience, and it's really been unparalleled, unfortunately, thanks to COVID.
One of or probably the memory that sticks out most to me is when we went to Kentucky for a national conference for Holmes Cadet. That was where we presented our mental health research to PhD students, and people with masters and things like that. And so it was a very educational experience because I was able to interact with people that got their PhDs or were in graduate school or were other educators. And so I just remember being surrounded by all of this education and professional people, and it was an eye-opening experience. And like Johnny said, being in the hotel room with your peers and traveling and the whole trip, it was very fun.
That's quite amazing. But in order to wrap things up, is there any inspirational words you have for the remaining students here at World Scholars?
Just really keep at it. Keep at your studies. Really work at it early rather than late. And like what I mean by that, not only not procrastinating on assignments, but also, like if you're a freshman or a sophomore, keep up your grades, because those 2 years are going to be honestly your easiest years, and those allow you to really help out how you're going to do your junior and senior year when grades really do matter for college admissions and scholarships, so on and so forth. And that's what really helped me out, I think, get to the place that I am right now.
I would tell all of the underclassmen to enjoy your time. Make friends, go out, go to restaurants, well not now, but soon. Just have fun, because this is a time for productivity but also for fun. It's very important to have fun and never give up.
And is there anything that you would like to say to your teachers here at World Scholars?
Just thank you so much. Thank you for enduring this pandemic. Thank you for risking everything to really help us out, and just always being there for us, always giving us the support that we needed, and sitting down with us during student support, going through tutorials, giving us comprehensive feedback on our papers. All of that matters. All of that was just critical to our success. And I'll be eternally grateful for each and every one of you.
I'd like to tell our teachers that you all are really the best. You're unforgettable. I mean, I've encountered so many teachers here that have helped me in different ways. And so, World Scholars, you have the most amazing teachers, and we thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being here today with us, Julia, John. You are our role models, and we will be waiting to have you back on the show as guests in the near future. We will have a brief 30-second pause, and we will be right back.
And we're back. We now have our 3 senior members of the Line Talks crew. Although their time was short, they have definitely made an impact. We couldn't have asked for a better guest on this show. So we have John Smith, who is a production manager. We have John Esquereño, who is a host, and Derek Gomez, who's also
last 4 years.
I'd say my biggest achievement is probably to do with TSA and specifically kind of how I restructured the organization to give a lot more support to the students. And if you're a member of TSA, you know that we've had a really rough go because we've lost our advisors that we've had. I think really helped to improve our performance, and I'm just really proud of how we were able to change.
For me, I think it's a bit general, but I think getting this far and pushing through every kind of difficult
Personally, this one's a little bit more personal, but being ranked number 3 in our senior class behind Johnny and Julia, and that's it's a big achievement for me because I mean, like they said before, you know, we all didn't really have that in mind. Like, oh, we want to be number 1, we want to be the highest ranked, we want to beat everybody out. Like it all happened very naturally and very spontaneously and. Pretty much, it was a big achievement for me because it really showed like wow, like my hard work really paid off.
That's a big achievement, guys. Congratulations. What would you say is the thing you love the most about World Scholars?
Ooh, that's a hard one, actually. There's a lot of things to like about World Scholars. I think just the opportunities it gives you. I've been able to join so many clubs, do so many things. I think literally the fact that I'm able to be interviewed on a talk show I've also hosted is a perfect example of the fact that World Scholars gives you so many ways to do so many things. And so I think that's really what I love, just the fact that you have so many routes to go on in terms of clubs, organizations, programs, whatever, and that you're able to do it almost freely.
That's kind of the same thing for me, having the opportunity to join all these different organizations. But I'd say also the International Baccalaureate Program. I know that I already talked about that in the last section. But again, it's just really given me, it's allowed me to take ownership of my education. And that's just something that a lot of different programs like AP, dual enrollment, they just don't allow you to do. You don't have as much granular control over all the different topics, what you get to research. And it's really made me into a lot better of a thinker and a lot better of a student and individual.
Well, I couldn't really pick just one, so if I had to narrow it down to 2, it would be the opportunities like John and Johnny said. And it would also be that World Scholars is like a big family, you know. Everybody knows each other. We're all very close, you know, with our teachers and our administration. And they're always here to help us. And it's just been a big blessing because, you know, not a lot of schools have those relationships with, or teachers in like public schools, they don't have those relationships with their students. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the opportunities here at World Scholars also. There's so many organizations, so many clubs that you can join based on what you'd like to do. Me, personally, I'm a big, I like business and finance, so I joined BPA in my sophomore year, and it was very fun to do. I got to do competitions and compete in different sectors in business that I personally love. And even being here on Line Talks, this was obviously a very great opportunity to interview people from the community and interview people from around the world.
Yeah. So I noticed you said something about teachers helping you. What would you say is the biggest advice your teacher has given you that will stick with you in college or your life?
Do you mind if I take this one first again?
Go for it.
So this is a really niche one. In freshman year, I had a teacher for BIM named Aaron Garza. He knew my dad, weirdly enough, so I guess we had formed some early relationship early on because of that. And he would always be on me when I would be missing an assignment or whatever. But he told me that time management is key. And I probably never took that lesson to heart until now with STC English, things like that. I wasted and procrastinated a lot of time on certain assignments that I should have been doing. And when I was binging assignments over the weekend, sayings like that he would tell me like that were just ringing in my head constantly. And I think not only him saying that, but what World Scholars has helped me and given me has definitely made me kind of realize that and keep that in my head.
And I guess for me, it isn't actually from a World Scholars teacher. I'd say it's actually from my 5th grade teacher. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she basically said, all shall be well. Like, worry less. You don't have to worry so much, because I'm really concerned about all my assignments, all of my grades, and it's really important for me to note when I don't need to worry about something anymore, when it's out of my control. And I've just kind of struggled with that throughout high school, and I need to take the advice more often. I always tell myself that, and I'd say it's gotten better over the years, especially thanks to her help and that advice.
This one's also really general too, and it's not just from one specific teachers, but I would say all my teachers, just them pushing us and telling us, that hard work really pays off, because within school, obviously, if you put in the work and you study for your tests and you do your assignments, you're going to get the results, you're going to get the grades, and you're going to gain more knowledge. And even in life, if you work hard at what you want to do in life, whatever career that is, you got to work hard for it. And if you want to be in a position of success, you have to work hard for it. So that's definitely something that will always stick with me.
Okay, for the next question, it's more of a statement. How I would like you to finish the sentence. In 15 years, I am going to be.
A software developer, hopefully.
A published author.
My happiest self and
Ooh,
a successful
that is a
person.
good one.
Okay, now talking about Lion Talks, first question. Was there anything that the guest speaker said to you that really resonated with you?
For me personally, I got to interview Mr. Johnny O'Neill. He's a trailer editor at Netflix, and just talking about, his life and all types of curveballs that life can really throw at you. Because, for him, he wanted to start off in music, and he moved to LA because he wanted to pursue a career in music.
Right.
But eventually ended up becoming a trailer editor for different companies, grinding 14-hour days to get to where he is now. And look at him now, he's a trailer editor at Netflix.
Mhm.
And it just really opened my eyes to wow, that's the real world, life can really throw you all these curveballs, and you just got to adjust and adapt and overcome them.
Yep.
I'd say also the Johnny O'Neill episode, that had to be my favorite one, because I'm really into video editing, video production. That's what I do for Lion Talks, and hearing him talk about kind of how he learned and how he started off, and what he's able to do with a video editor and just a splash of footage from a movie, that was really inspiring. And that really kind of opened my eyes, I guess, more to the possibilities and the creativity that you have when you edit videos and when you put together live productions, even like this. And that's kind of motivated me when I practice video production and practice these live productions for Lion Talks.
I think the guest, or I guess episode that stuck with me most, was Dr. Tahati Higina. Not because it was one of the first interviews I ever did, but I wasn't really super interested in the field of engineering when I first kind of understood what he was doing. But the fact that he had such passion for his work and that he enjoyed it so much and he enjoyed the people that he worked with, it flipped me like a switch. I realized, I want to have that sort of passion and that sort of fire when it comes to talking about what I like doing for work. And that kind of just almost inspired me to just want to push even harder to get to a position I want in life.
Okay, thank you. How would you say that being a part of Lion Talks affects your mindset on your careers in education? You kind of just answered this, but would you like to expand on it?
Well, Lion Talks has really kind of allowed me to experience the full product, every single time we do it. I've done 4 episodes so far through the tech team. It's taught me how quickly also time can go by, because I don't know if any of you have put together a live stream before, but there's a lot that goes into it. And if you forget to do one little thing, that could really set off your entire production and make it not look that good. So I guess being under that time crunch and having a lot of other people rely on you, that's really taught me to manage my time in the moment a lot better and think quicker. and make sure that I check things before they actually go live, before something can really go wrong and set off the entire production.
Yeah, I think just interviewing people from all over the community and all over the world, it really opened my eyes to what's really out there in the world in terms of career opportunities. There's so many opportunities out there in the world, and whether it's within education or the entertainment industry or any other industry, I mean, there's just a plethora of opportunities here in this country, and I feel very grateful to have that here.
All right. Last question. How do you feel knowing that you were a part of the first talk show that STIC district has seen?
That, I think, at least in my case personally, I've had a weird amount of STISD legacies. So I was the first 7th grade class of RSA down in San Benito, and technically all three of us here are the founding class of World Scholars, since the last few graduated as beta students. And now we kind of also get to leave a legacy of having this talk show and being the first few hosts and the production team. And it's an amazing feeling knowing that we'll be remembered for something. I passed a little cork board that's out there with the pictures of all of us setting up and doing the episodes. And it's just this really warm feeling of like, wow, we actually did something that people are going to remember.
I know, I was just like, it's a really cool concept. I loved the idea, and I loved that we're doing something that a lot of colleges offer. Not even a lot of them, only some colleges offer. I just thought, that's so cool, I gotta do this. And being able to help out, being able to transform things like the camera angles, the audio, so on and so forth, I really like that I've been able to help out and really kind of transform what it's going to look like in the future. And I can't wait to see how it's going to look like. I'm really excited to see the studio that we're going to have and all the different equipment and the variety. And I can't wait to view it when I'm off at college.
Yeah, it feels absolutely amazing because we're doing something, or we started something that the school's never seen before, or even the district. And like Johnny said, I mean, there's so many. It's just going to get bigger and better as time goes on. You know, like this is only the beginning, and it just feels great to have started something that we know is it's a legacy project. You know, it's going to grow over time. It's going to become bigger. It's going to become better. More interviews, hopefully, and it's going to be a really great process.
We will definitely keep tuning in for as long as
We're
we
gonna have to
can.
bring you guys back.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Of course.
All right, and now we would like to finish off with a game.
So we usually do the game, you all know. Please say a word, you say the first thing that comes to mind. So
Oh my God, we're on the receiving side this time.
the first word is college.
UT Austin, that's where I'm going to go.
All right.
UT Austin.
UT Austin.
Three, okay.
All three UT Austin.
Okay, next word, future.
This is a difficult game. Probably bright, hopefully.
Right?
Uncertain.
Success.
Freshman.
Naive.
Different.
New.
Class of 2021.
Strong.
Fierce.
Resilient.
Lion Talks.
Awesome.
Memorable.
Opportunity.
All right, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we love
Thank
being
you
here.
so much for having us. Thank you.
Before we wrap up our first season at Lion Talks, we want to thank you for tuning in each week. Thank you all, student, faculty, staff, and community.
The support we received this year from students, teachers, and staff was overwhelming, and we appreciate each and every one of you for supporting us and our project.
In a year where we couldn't see each other's faces, where we saw our classmates as black boxes on Zoom screens, and we weren't able to hug our friends in high school or high-five our teachers, we hope that Lion Talks gave you that sense of connection that we were all longing for.
What started as a dream and a vision became a reality. We are part of the first student-run talk show in the district. Although we only had time for 5 episodes this year, we promise you the best is yet to come.
This is a show to network and to bring more opportunities so you guys can realize the potential that is out here.
Lion Talks gave us memories that we didn't think we'd be able to make during these circumstances.
We are very grateful for all the learning opportunities it has given us.
Thank you to everyone that made this a reality. A special thank you to Ms. Ramirez, who was the person managing everything between our sponsor to our administration and making every week possible. Thank you for believing in us.
Thank you to Dr. Villarreal for sharing this fantastic idea that became something we could have never imagined. Her dedication and support are what introduced this dream that will definitely go down in Lion history.
Thank you to Ms. Ortiz for always making sure that we have the resources to help us succeed each and every week. Without your will to make sure your students have the best of the best, the show wouldn't be as great as it is.
Thank you to the Lion Talks crew for being a reliable and hardworking team. Each and every one of your talents brought us to where we are today, and it's been an honor working with each and every one of you.
So, on behalf of Michael,
Derek?
Justin,
Desiree,
Juliana, Sila,
John?
Johnny.
Jacob.
and Madeline.
and for the last time, good evening, goodbye, and go Lions.